Listen, let me tell you something right now. One of the biggest problems people got today is they sit around overthinking everything. You want to start that business, you overthink it. You want to make that move, you overthink it. You want to go after that dream, you sit there stuck running circles in your own head until you talk yourself right out of it. That's the truth. Overthinking kills action because it keeps you trapped in a cycle of hesitation. When you overthink, you start building problems in your mind that don't even exist yet. You imagine every possible way something could go wrong, and by the time you're done playing out all those scenarios in your head, you've already convinced yourself it's not worth trying. The problem with that is you never take the first step. You never move because you're too busy analyzing. And while you're sitting there stuck, someone else with less talent, less skill, maybe even fewer resources than you is out there making moves, taking chances, and turning their dreams into reality simply because they had the courage to act. The truth is, nothing in life moves until you move. Success does not belong to the smartest person. It belongs to the person who's willing to act when everybody else is still thinking about it. You can plan, you can dream, you can talk about it all day long, but until you take that first step, nothing will happen. And that's what overthinking robs you of, the ability to act. It's like quicksand for your mind. The longer you stay in it, the deeper you sink, until eventually you're paralyzed. You ever notice how kids don't overthink? They just do. They try, they stumble, they fall, but then they get back up and try again. Somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we pick up fear, we pick up doubt. We let the world tell us what we can't do, and then we internalize that voice until it's louder than our own belief in ourselves. Overthinking becomes a shield we use to avoid failure, but in reality, it becomes the very reason we fail. Because failure doesn't happen when you try and fall short. Failure happens when you don't try at all. Every great success story you've ever heard about came from somebody who acted when they didn't have it all figured out. They didn't wait until the stars lined up perfectly. They didn't wait until they had every single answer. They stepped out with what they had and trusted they'd figure the rest out along the way. If they had overthought it, if they had sat around second guessing themselves, you wouldn't even know their names today. That book you want to write, that business you want to start, that career you want to chase, overthinking will keep it locked inside your head forever. The cost of overthinking is opportunity lost. It's the regret you carry years later when you look back and realize the only thing that stopped you was you. That dream didn't die because it wasn't possible. It died because you smothered it with doubt and hesitation. You can't afford to let your mind become a prison that keeps you from stepping into the life you were meant to live. Every single time you get stuck replaying the what ifs, you delay your own blessing. Every single time you let fear masquerade as logic, you kill your own momentum. Overthinking kills action, and without action, nothing in your life will ever change. Opportunity doesn't wait forever because life is constantly moving, shifting, and creating new paths. And if you hesitate too long, the moment passes by. When the door cracks open, it doesn't stay open just to accommodate your doubt or your indecision. It opens for a short time, long enough for you to recognize it. And if you don't step through it, that chance closes and moves on to the next person who's ready. The mistake so many people make is believing that opportunities will circle back when they feel more prepared, when they're more comfortable, or when everything is lined up just right. But that's not how life works. Opportunity is not about convenience. It's about courage. It rewards the ones who are willing to step in even when they're not completely ready. Think about how many times you felt that pull in your gut, that instinct telling you to move, to say yes, to take the leap, but you pause. You told yourself you'd wait until tomorrow, you'd think it over, you'd sleep on it, and then tomorrow came, and the chance was gone. Someone else took it. Someone else said yes. Someone else made the move you were too hesitant to make. That's what happens when you don't act on the moment. It doesn't sit around waiting for you to feel comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of growth, and opportunity lives outside of that comfort zone. People spend their whole lives waiting for the right time, waiting until they save enough money, waiting until the kids are grown, waiting until they feel less afraid, waiting until they have more support, waiting until life calms down. But here's the reality: there will never be a perfect time. There will always be something unfinished, some fear you're carrying, some reason to delay. If you keep waiting on perfect, you'll wait yourself right out of the blessing that was meant for you. The window will close, the season will shift, and what was once possible will slip through your fingers. The people who succeed are not the ones who have everything figured out. They're the ones who recognize opportunity when it shows up and grab hold of it. They don't let their doubts talk them out of moving forward. They understand that chances are fleeting and they may not come back around. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you with their success stories. They didn't wait until the timing felt safe. They jumped when it was scary. They moved when it was uncertain, and because of that, they got access to doors others never walked through. Opportunity shows up disguised as risk. It rarely looks convenient, and it rarely feels easy. That's why so many people miss it. They're too busy waiting for a sign that feels comfortable, for a signal that guarantees success. But the truth is, the only guarantee you'll ever have is the one you give yourself when you decide to act. Opportunity doesn't knock forever. It gives you a moment, a chance, a spark. What you do in that moment determines whether you move into something new or stay exactly where you've always been. You'll never feel 100% ready because readiness is an illusion that keeps you waiting for something that doesn't exist. People convince themselves that if they just had a little more money, a little more time, a little more knowledge, then they would finally move forward. But the truth is, no matter how much you prepare, no matter how much you study or plan, there will always be unknowns. Life is full of uncertainty, and there will always be something you can't predict or control. If you keep waiting until you feel completely ready, you will wait forever because that moment of total readiness never comes. Growth doesn't happen in the space of comfort. It happens when you step into the unknown, trusting that you'll figure it out along the way. Think about the major milestones in life: starting a family, starting a career, moving to a new city, or pursuing a big dream. Were you really ever fully ready for them? Did you know exactly how everything would work out before you began? No. You had questions, you had doubts, you had fears, but you took the step anyway. And once you stepped in, you learned as you went. That's the only way it works. Waiting for 100% readiness is nothing but procrastination disguised as logic. It's the mind's way of keeping you safe from risk, but in reality, it's keeping you safe from progress. The people who achieve greatness understand that readiness comes through action, not before it. They take that first step even when their knees are shaking, even when the plan isn't crystal clear. And as they move, they grow. They gain experience, they learn the lessons, they adjust, and eventually they become ready because they dared to begin. Readiness isn't about having everything lined up perfectly. It's about having the courage to start without certainty. The fear of not being ready is rooted in the desire for control. People want to guarantee success before they risk failure, but success doesn't work that way. You don't earn success by waiting for the perfect moment. You earn it by moving when it's messy, when it's scary, when you're unsure. That's what builds character. That's what builds resilience. And that's what opens doors you couldn't even see while you were waiting. The truth is, if you only moved when you felt fully prepared, you would miss the very experiences that would make you prepared in the first place. Opportunities don't come wrapped in certainty. They come wrapped in challenge, in risk, in discomfort. That's why so many people hesitate, because they're waiting for the feeling of safety to accompany the decision. But safety and readiness don't walk hand in hand with opportunity. You'll never reach a point where every question is answered, every doubt is gone, and every step is guaranteed to work. You'll always face uncertainty, you'll always feel some fear, and you'll always have to leap before you feel fully equipped. That's the secret. Readiness is created in the process, not in the preparation. Faith is stronger than fear because fear is built on imagination, while faith is built on trust. Fear paints a picture of everything that could go wrong even before you've taken the first step. It magnifies the worst case scenario and convinces you that it's safer to stay still than to risk failing. Faith, on the other hand, speaks to possibility. It tells you that even though you can't see the entire path, you have to trust that each step forward is leading you somewhere greater. Fear paralyzes, faith moves. Fear whispers doubt. Faith shouts assurance. Fear says, what if it doesn't work? While faith says, what if it does? The two live in the same space, but only one can control your decisions, and whichever one you choose will shape the outcome of your life. When fear runs your life, it keeps you stuck in the same cycle. You play it safe, you avoid risk, you hide from challenges, and you convince yourself that staying where you are is the smartest choice. But in reality, you're missing out on the blessings, opportunities, and growth that only come through stepping outside your comfort zone. Faith doesn't eliminate fear, but it gives you the strength to move anyway. It tells you to take the leap even while your knees are shaking, because deep down you believe there's something greater waiting for you on the other side of your obedience. Every person who has accomplished something extraordinary had to wrestle with fear. They had moments where the voice of doubt tried to convince them to quit before they even began. The difference between them and those who never tried is that they chose to listen to faith. They believed in something bigger than their fear, whether that was their purpose, their vision, their God, or their inner conviction. Fear is loud, but faith is steady. Fear is temporary, but faith endures. Fear fades the moment you take action, while faith, grows stronger with every step you take. It's important to recognize that fear is natural, but it doesn't have to be the driver of your decisions. Fear will always be there in some form, but faith gives you the ability to act in spite of it. Faith is what allows a person to start a business without knowing if it will succeed, to pursue a dream without knowing how it will happen, to move forward even when the resources don't seem enough. It's not about having proof ahead of time. It's about trusting that the proof will show up once you move. Fear limits your vision. It narrows your focus down to everything that could go wrong, but faith expands your vision, reminding you of everything that could go right. Fear convinces you to stop before you start, but faith tells you to keep walking because something is waiting for you on the other side. Fear is exhausting because it requires constant worry, but faith is energizing because it fuels hope and determination. Fear locks doors, faith opens them. Fear shrinks possibilities, faith multiplies them. Fear holds you back, but faith propels you forward. Yesterday can't be changed because no matter how much you think about it, replay it, or wish you could go back, time does not move in reverse. What's done is done. The mistakes, the missed chances, the words you said, or the things you didn't say, none of it can be undone. And yet, so many people live trapped in the past, carrying the weight of yesterday like a backpack full of bricks. They keep revisiting old hurts, old failures, old regrets, and wonder why they feel so heavy trying to move forward. The truth is, every time you replay yesterday, you're sacrificing today. You can't rewrite the chapters that are already printed, but you can start a new page in the story of your life if you stop rereading the same sentence over and over. People often waste years of their life dwelling on moments that cannot be changed. A broken relationship, a missed opportunity, a wrong decision, they keep it alive by feeding it attention. They talk about it, they think about it, they even let it shape the way they see themselves. But the past is not a prison unless you lock yourself inside. The chains are made of memory and guilt, and the only way they hold power over you is if you keep tightening them yourself. The longer you stare at yesterday, the more blind you become to the opportunities right in front of you today. Think about how many great stories of redemption exist in the world. People who lost everything but started again. People who made terrible mistakes but rebuilt their lives. People who were counted out but refused to let yesterday define them. What separates them is not that their past disappeared, it's that they stopped giving it permission to control their present. They understood that yesterday can't be changed, but today can be lived differently and tomorrow can be prepared for. Living in the past also gives power to pain. The moment you keep replaying in your mind, it doesn't hurt you because it happened. It hurts you because you keep reliving it. You reopen the wound every time you dwell on it, and in doing so, you block the healing that could come if you let it rest. You can acknowledge yesterday, you can learn from it, but you can't drag it into today and expect to move forward freely. The longer you carry it, the more it slows you down. Every sunrise is proof that life moves forward, whether you're ready or not. Yesterday's failures don't erase today's possibilities. Yesterday's losses don't cancel today's blessings. Yesterday's mistakes don't remove your chance to do better now. You can't turn back the clock, but you can choose how you use the time you still have. The only way yesterday keeps power over you is if you keep surrendering today to it. The past has no life on its own. It only lives when you breathe energy into it by giving it your focus. Let go of pain and disappointment, because carrying it with you into every day of your life only makes the journey harder than it has to be. Pain is something everyone experiences, but not everyone chooses to keep holding on to it. Disappointment happens to everybody, but not everyone allows it to shape their identity or dictate their future. The truth is, life will hand you moments that hurt deeply, moments that leave you broken, moments that make you question why it had to happen the way it did. But holding on to those moments is like gripping shattered glass. The tighter you cling to it, the more damage you do to yourself. When you refuse to let go, you drag the weight of yesterday into every new opportunity. That disappointment becomes the filter you see everything through. A new relationship shows up, but you can't enjoy it because you're still stuck in the pain of the last one. A new job comes your way, but you walk into it doubting yourself because you're still hearing the voice of the boss who underestimated you years ago. You get a chance to chase your dream, but you hesitate because the last time you tried, you failed. Holding on to pain turns your future into a mirror of your past because you keep replaying the same story instead of writing a new one. Letting go doesn't mean pretending it never happened. It doesn't mean denying that it hurt. It means you stop giving it permission to run your life. It means you decide that what happened to you will not control what happens next. Pain is a teacher, but it's not supposed to be your master. Disappointment is an event, not a permanent identity. If you can shift your perspective and see those moments as lessons rather than lifelong prisons, you free yourself to move forward without being chained down. The act of letting go is also an act of trust. It's trusting that even though something ended, something better started and began. It's believing that the person who left wasn't meant to stay, that the door that closed wasn't meant for you to walk through, that the failure you experienced wasn't meant to destroy you, but to redirect you. When you cling to pain, you cling to what's gone, and as long as you're staring at what's gone, you miss what's coming. Every person who has found peace had to let go of something first. It might have been resentment toward someone who hurt them. It might have been anger toward themselves for what they did or didn't do. It might have been disappointment in how life turned out compared to how they imagined it. Whatever it was, the release of that weight created space for healing, for joy, for clarity. Carrying pain doesn't honor your past, it dishonors your future. Carrying disappointment doesn't protect you from being hurt again. It guarantees you'll keep reliving the same hurt. Letting go is not about forgetting. It's about deciding that yesterday's pain will not rob today's peace. Every blessing requires movement because nothing in life falls into your lap without you taking a step toward it. People pray, they hope, they dream, and they sit waiting for something to change, but waiting alone does not bring blessings. You can believe all you want, but belief without action is like having a car full of gas and never turning the key. It doesn't matter how much fuel you've got if you're not willing to move. Blessings are tied to action. The moment you decide to move, the moment you take that first step, doors begin to open that would have stayed shut if you stayed still. Movement is what activates potential. You may have a gift, you may have talent, you may have vision, but none of that means anything if it just sits unused. A seed has the potential to grow into a tree, but only if it's planted. Left on a shelf, it will remain what it is and never become what it could be. The same is true with blessings. They're tied to action, to risk, to stepping forward when you don't have all the answers. You can't stand still and expect your life to move forward. So many people ask for change, but resist the discomfort that comes with movement. They want new opportunities, but won't leave old habits. They want success, but won't leave their comfort zones. They want growth, but avoid the pain that comes with stretching. But blessings don't show up in stagnation, they show up in motion. You have to be willing to move even when it's uncomfortable, because discomfort is the space where transformation takes place. Think about how many times in your life you've stepped out, even scared, and something good came from it. Maybe it wasn't what you expected, maybe it didn't happen instantly, but something shifted because you moved. That's how blessings work. They don't just land in your lap while you're sitting around, they show up along the journey. You don't receive them by waiting for everything to be perfect. You receive them by walking toward them one step at a time. Movement also builds momentum. Once you take the first step, it becomes easier to take the second and then the third. Blessings are not about one giant leap. They're about consistent movement forward. Every action you take is like planting seeds. Some sprout quickly, some take years, but none of them grow if they're never put into the ground. A blessing delayed is often just a blessing waiting on your action. It's not enough to just wish for something better. You have to move toward it. That move might look like applying for the job, starting the business, forgiving someone, or letting go of something that's been holding you back. Whatever the step is, that's the key to unlocking the blessing tied to it. Standing still keeps everything in your life the same, but movement invites change, it creates opportunity, and it signals that you're ready to receive more than what you've been settling for. Don't pray for doors, knock on them, because too many people are waiting for opportunities to magically appear without putting in the work to meet them halfway. Prayer, belief, and hope are powerful, but they are meant to fuel your action, not replace it. You can pray for a job, but if you never fill out the application, you're not knocking. You can pray for success, but if you never take the step to start, you're not knocking. You can pray for growth, but if you never leave your comfort zone, you're not knocking. Blessings require faith, but they also require movement. And knocking is the demonstration that you're ready for what you've been asking for. Knocking is a sign of courage because it means you're willing to approach doors that might not open right away. Some doors will stay closed, some will open a little, some will swing wide, but you'll never know which ones are yours unless you knock. Too many people sit outside doors in silence, hoping that they'll open without effort. They convince themselves that if it's meant to be, it'll just happen. But the truth is, doors often open for the ones bold enough to walk up to them and try. It's not about entitlement, it's about initiative. When you knock, you show intention. You prove that you're not just wishing for change, you're actively pursuing it. The act of knocking is symbolic of persistence. It's choosing to keep trying even when it takes longer than you thought, even when the first door doesn't respond, even when rejection stings. Because knocking is not about one attempt, it's about consistency. The person who keeps knocking eventually finds the door that was meant for them, while the person who never knocks keeps wondering why life feels so stagnant. It's also important to understand that not every door is supposed to open, and that's not a reason to quit knocking. Some doors close because what's behind them isn't for you. Some doors stay shut because they would distract you from your real path. Rejection isn't a signal to stop, it's often a redirection toward the right opportunity. Every time you knock and a door stays shut, you've gained clarity, and that clarity moves you closer to the one that will open. The people who succeed are the ones who keep showing up at doors with confidence, knowing that the right one is out there. Knocking also means being prepared to walk through once the door opens. Opportunity without preparation can turn into a missed chance. When you've been knocking, you're already in motion, you're already building momentum, and when that door swings open, you're ready to step in. The habit of knocking shapes you into the kind of person who doesn't just wait on blessings, but positions themselves to receive them. The difference between someone who talks about change and someone who experiences it often comes down to whether they sat outside the door or whether they had the courage to knock. Trust that you've survived before, because every single hard moment you've faced up until now has already proven your strength. Think about it. Every heartbreak, every setback, every failure, every sleepless night you thought you wouldn't make it through, you're still here. That means you've already overcome things that once felt impossible. When the mind starts doubting and fear starts rising, one of the strongest reminders you can give yourself is that you've been through storms before, and you didn't just survive, you grew from them. The very fact that you're standing today is evidence that you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. When new challenges come, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to wonder if this is the one that will break you. But if you pause and reflect, you'll realize this isn't the first mountain you've had to climb. It isn't the first time you've been tested. It isn't the first time you've been scared. And it isn't the first time you've questioned yourself. Yet every single time before, somehow you found a way through. It may not have been easy, it may not have been pretty, but you made it. That track record is proof that whatever comes your way now, you have the resilience to handle it. The problem is that people forget their own victories. They get so caught up in the weight of the current struggle that they erase their own history of survival. They forget the times they thought it was over, but ended up coming out stronger. They forget how many storms they weathered, how many nights they cried, but still got up the next day. That forgetfulness makes fear louder than faith. But when you remind yourself of your past resilience, fear starts to lose its grip. You realize that this challenge, like all the others, will not last forever. You realize that just as you overcame then, you can overcome now. Trusting that you've survived before also fuels confidence. Confidence doesn't come from pretending life is easy. It comes from remembering the times life was hard and you still rose above it. Every scar is a reminder not just of the pain, but of the healing. Every mistake is a reminder not just of failure, but of the lesson you carried with you afterward. Every loss is a reminder not just of what was taken, but of the strength you discovered in rebuilding. Your past battles aren't reasons to fear. They're reasons to believe in your own ability to keep moving forward. Life has a way of testing you again and again, and each test can either intimidate you or remind you of your strength. Trusting that you've survived before is choosing to see proof instead of doubt. It's telling yourself that if you had the resilience to make it through everything up to this point, you have the resilience to face what's next. Survival isn't an accident. It's evidence of your endurance, your adaptability, and your fight. The same strength that carried you before is still inside you now, waiting to carry you again. Overthinking traps you. Letting go frees you, because the mind has a way of turning small worries into heavy chains when you replay them over and over. Overthinking convinces you that you're solving problems, but in reality, you're just circling the same thoughts until they drain your energy and paralyze your action. It makes you rehearse conversations that already happened, analyze decisions you already made, and create future problems that don't even exist. The more you overthink, the more stuck you feel, and the more stuck you feel, the less likely you are to move forward. It's a trap because it disguises itself as preparation, but it robs you of peace and progress. Letting go, on the other hand, is like taking a deep breath after holding it for too long. It releases the grip your thoughts have on you and creates space for clarity. When you let go of what you can't control, you stop wasting energy on trying to rewrite the past or predict the future, and you start focusing on the only place you actually have power, right now. Letting go is not giving up. It's freeing yourself from the weight of trying to carry what was never yours to control in the first place. Overthinking comes from fear. Fear of making the wrong choice, fear of failing, fear of what people will think. That fear builds walls in your mind, keeping you stuck behind what ifs and endless scenarios. The problem is, fear doesn't prevent mistakes, it just prevents movement. Letting go is an act of faith. It's saying, I don't need to have every answer to take the next step. It's trusting that even if things don't go perfectly, you'll still find a way to handle it. Faith and overthinking can't coexist because one requires trust and the other requires control. Many people spend more time trapped in their heads than living their lives. They think so much about what might happen that they never experience what actually does. Overthinking keeps you sitting on opportunities, missing out on blessings, and watching others move ahead while you're stuck trying to figure out the perfect plan. Letting go allows you to take imperfect steps, to learn as you go, to grow through doing instead of just thinking. It shifts you from being stuck in questions to finding answers through action. The trap of overthinking also creates unnecessary pain. You replay hurts, disappointments, and failures so often that they feel fresh even when they're years old. The mind doesn't know the difference between what's happening now and what you're reliving, so by overthinking, you keep reopening wounds that should have healed. Letting go is closing the chapter, not pretending it didn't exist, but deciding it won't control you anymore. It's choosing to stop carrying the same story on repeat and instead write a new one. When you let go, you create space for peace, clarity, and creativity. You allow yourself to live in the present instead of being imprisoned by the past or worried about the future. Overthinking shrinks your world down to your fears, but letting go opens it back up to possibilities. Overthinking traps you in hesitation. Letting go gives you freedom to act, to breathe, and to finally move toward the life you were meant to live.